Are you a mediocre, low-level piece of shit? Are you distinguishable or are you indistinguishable? Can we distinguish you by you, or are you the same, a copy of the man next to you? Are you a fucking clone to everyone around you, or are you distinguished and unique? All of you guys are fucking copies of this mediocre, lousy piece of shit called the modern man. All of you are underdeveloped. All of you have to drink and smoke. You're fat. You're addicted. You can't even confront the piece of shit in the mirror without recognizing the flaws within your own being and moving accordingly to fix them. You have to lie to yourself every day, and then you need to find validation to validate yourself for lying to you. So you solidify the lie by validating the lie through other people. People don't want to hurt your feelings, but the truth is you are a mediocre, lousy, lazy piece of shit bitch. And until you can confront the individual in the mirror and actually do some shit to fix some shit, you will remain that fat, addicted piece of shit until you hit the fucking casket. And there's nothing worse than lying to yourself to feel better, when as a man you should be unbreakable, and the feeling of feeling like shit should be the motivation. You always seek motivation, look in the mirror, bitch. That's where you find the fucking motivation. Every day we exude the maximum, and you're over here remaining the minimum. And then when you feel insecure, when you feel down, when you feel apathetic, pathetic, it's because you are. And to fight those feelings and to combat those feelings through action is the only way to solve them. You're trying to find yourself in weed. You're trying to find yourself in other people. You're trying to use other people to validate your own inadequacy that you reverberate into the cosmos, without realizing that the only thing that's going to fix you is the action and the work you need to put in to actually work on yourself. You are the work of life. If you're not going to work on yourself, you're going to be an unworked on, undone piece of shit. So do yourself a favor, recognize the fact you're a bitch. And every time you leave the best version of you undone to be, easily, standing in, to stand in the crowd, to be another person in the herd, to not separate yourself by conduct, to not conduct yourself and hold yourself accountable at the highest level, to be responsible, and to hold yourself, to the highest of degrees of, accountability. All of you guys are lousy. You eat what you want, when you want, you sleep when you want. You don't even read a fucking book. Your brain is empty as fuck. The only thing you know how to do is chase down quick, fleeting desires that instantly gratify you, but don't gratify you, because if you were gratified in the right way, you wouldn't be that lazy bitch. So do yourself a favor, drop the vape, drop the smoke, look in the mirror, and take accountability for that pussy reflecting back at you, because that bitch is someone we all have to be aware of. And while you sit there with that fake ass, socially conditioned slave smile, we have to be aware of your mediocre existence, and that's the motivation for us. When you have the developed people, surrounded by the underdeveloped people, to have the inferior ruminating and contaminating the space where the superior dwell, that's the fucking motivation at this point. Your existence is the motivation. And if your existence isn't motivation for you, but your existence is motivation for me, then there's something wrong with you, because you have to understand that you are a walking reverberation of inadequacy. When you pick up the drink and poison yourself, that is inadequacy. When you lean on someone else's shoulder instead of being the shoulder to lean on, that is your inadequacy. When you sit there like nothing's wrong, but you are a big heap of a problem walking around, you have to understand that that is your inadequacy. And to be inadequate, to not fix what makes you inadequate, is to be a bitch. And it's to be an inferior piece of shit by universal conduction. Because if you have a problem, and to solve the problem, the only thing you need to put in is the work. And to be lazy, to not put in the work to solve your inadequacy, just displays who you are internally. So while you validate yourself externally through the vape, through the inferior fucking conduct, and through the fake fucking fucks all around you, internally, the reason you feel like shit is because deep down you are a bitch, and you mistreat yourself, and you sit there and you validate yourself at the lowest level. You're either gonna step up to life, or you're gonna remain down, and you're just gonna be a low-level piece of shit until you hit the fucking casket. I mean, you guys are draining yourself. You guys only live once. right? Time is finite. Time is decreasing. The moment you just lost a moment ago doing nothing, wasting your fucking life, is a moment you'll never get back. And you're sitting here smiling at, the work you're not putting in, to laugh at your own inadequacy and instead of take responsibility for that low-level piece of shit. Holy fuck. I hate inferiors. You have to understand that if you are reverberating inadequacy and you don't fix that shit, you are a bitch. And I can't stress this enough. You guys are the biggest motivation. Motivation is a reason to act, a reason to move forward. You are the reason for us to move forward. And you need to, become the inspiration for us to move forward instead of the reason. If your existence is a reason to move forward, you have to understand that you're a bitch. But if you inspired us because you move forward yourself, now we can, be in a, higher state of vibration. But we have to be aware of your existence. And there's nothing more worse than seeing an inadequate piece of shit sit there and waste his life like he doesn't only live once. Because when you want the best for yourself, you simultaneously want the best for everyone else. When you truly, internally love yourself, you love everyone as well. But you don't understand that, when you don't love yourself, when you sit there and poison yourself, because everyone loves themselves until they have to, do some shit to fix some shit and to prove that they love themselves through action. Everyone loves themselves until they have to take accountability for that fat piece of shit bitch in the mirror. Everyone loves themselves until they have to drop the smoke, quit the addiction, and take steps forward in life. And, to sit there and see a walking lie, to sit there and see an illusion of an individual in this little world that they've created for themselves by lying to themselves every fucking day, to feel like it's okay to be a low-level piece of shit, bitch, fat, out of shape, addicted, bitch, and to not notice the fact that you feel like shit but won't do shit to fix shit because you're that fucking stupid. I mean, guys, open your fucking eyes for once, because you are the motivation. And, there's nothing more motivating than seeing a group of fat men laughing at a fucking dinner table like their life, like they aren't insecure, like they don't see that piece of shit in the mirror. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Stop being a delusional bitch. And, take accountability for yourself at the highest level. You only live once, and you're reverberating this low-level bitch emanation of, what you shouldn't be. This fragmented concoction of excuses piled up on excuses, a ball of shit tumbling downhill, slowly decreasing and, increasing the resistance of, moving forward, to be your own resistance, instead of to conquer the resistance, instead of to dominate yourself, to be dominated by yourself, to be the biggest weapon against you, to sit there and overeat, to sit there, know you want to do something, and then to lie yourself out of it, because that's who you are, a bitch. So do yourself a favor and develop, instead of remaining incompetent, underdeveloped, low-level, inferior fucking primate that will never go anywhere in life because all they did was lie to themselves and couldn't take accountability for that low-level piece of shit bitch in the mirror. You have to understand you only live once, and as time decreases and you deplete yourself with the vape to smoke, every day we took a step forward by indulging and putting our energy and channeling, the most ferocious of, energy into our goals, while you sat there and jerked your dick off and watched porn and sat there as a low-level bitch with a bottle in your hand, maybe some weed and a fucking PS4 controller. Like, fuck. Wake the fuck up, bro. You're a bitch. And every second you waste is a second we fully took advantage of. So when you are down here and we are up here and you remain that fat, low-level bitch that, has fucking fat hanging off his stomach, like we're not aware of that shit. Remember, you always could have made a move to be better, but you were too much of a insecure pussy bitch to recognize the fact you could. And so I'm just here to tell you that, the opportunity is there, but, it's not going to be mommy telling you to get up. It's like, get the fuck up, because if you don't, you'll die a bitch. Peace.